All right. Sorry, everyone. We've had a busy week with my new job, traveling out of state, and all that stuff. And starting a new job, it's crazy. So I haven't had a lot of time to do a quality production. But I do have to mention a couple things. I just woke up, so I look like crap. Got my Beatles mug, ready to rock. So there is a complete breakdown of all the tiebreakers on the message board. If you don't use the message board, go use it. I'm going to try to go through it real quick here and see or explain what is going on. Each division, no divisions are wrapped up yet. Okay, this is going to be a really just factual podcast here, okay? No divisions are wrapped up. I'm going to go each of them one by one, okay? Now, and we'll start with the Han Solo division. DeWyans obviously has a one-game lead on the second-place team, which is my Providence Power, so that sucks. They have a two-game lead on several teams. Brandon Roy's Knees, Unleash the Craggle, El Domador de Leons, and Brady O. Bush. So any of those teams, technically speaking, are still alive, but those, I mean, realistically, El Domador de Leons and Brady O. Bush, they have a extremely small chance of winning because of their division record. They'd have to have a bunch of teams lose, they'd have to win, and everything would fall perfectly into place. So probably not going to win, but still, technically, I believe they are both still alive. DeWyans, for him, it's simple. If he wins out, he's in. If he loses one game, opens up a vast array of possibilities. Well, not a vast array of possibilities. If he loses one game and Providence wins one more game, then Providence will win more than likely because he has the tiebreaker over DeWyans. Now, if he loses two games and Providence loses one game, then Brandon Roy's Knees, Unleash the Craggle, they both win two games. There's a bunch of stuff that can happen there. So we'll go over that next week. Going down. And by the way, this week there's not really a huge game there. Well, Unleash the Craggle and DeWyans, that is a huge game, sorry, yeah. Unleash the Craggle, you control your own destiny in a way, because if you beat DeWyans, you open up the gates for everyone else to have a chance of winning. So you need to win this week, that's all I'm saying. So going down to the Batman division, Killer Miller has now launched into first place. He definitely has the best odds of winning because he has a 6-1 division record, whereas 52 Shades of Clay and Getting Schneider, both also 7-3, have a 5-2. This week, obviously, Killer Miller versus Getting Schneider, number 2 versus number 7, the second biggest game of the week, I would say. So that's important. Also, 52 Shades of Clay, you play Peterman the Great, who's 5-5. He doesn't really have a chance. Yeah, because with Killer Miller and Getting Schneider playing, that means one thing and one thing only. No team that's not named Killer Miller, 52 Shades of Clay, or Getting Schneider is going to win that division, period. So Peterman the Great on down, you're eliminated, unfortunately, from winning that division. You're not eliminated from the playoffs, because you can still get in based on record, albeit unlikely, but you cannot win that division. So we're down to John McClane division. Manziel's Visors and Ray Rice Told Her Twice are both 7-3 with a 5-2 division record. And then Leave It to Beavers are 6-4 with a 4-3 record. Ray Rice Told Her Twice and Leave It to Beavers are playing this week. So even though Leave It to Beavers is not ranked, this is a critical game for both teams. Leave It to Beavers wins, opens up all kinds of possibilities. Ray Rice Told Her Twice wins, basically eliminates Leave It to Beavers. So that's a big game for Leave It to Beavers. Jennings for Heisman, and Potterville Pussycats, you still technically have a chance. Probably not going to happen, but still technically alive. The other 5-5 teams, or Plaxidental Discharge being 3-4, it's basically not possible for you. All right, Indiana Jones division, Symphony of Destruction going up against Gamers. Irrelevant there, but Symphony of Destruction, I mean, they don't have a chance of winning the division, Gamers, but obviously Symphony of Destruction wants to win. Gamers, you want to spoil them. Symphony of Destruction number 3 and Kazoo Crazies number 15, both 7-3. Symphony of Destruction is a 5-2 division record, so there's a slight edge on him. The Kazoo, you still have the Asparagus King and Cheechki are all 6-4, especially the Asparagus King being 5-2 in division. So any of those 4 teams could win. Dublin Drunks 5-5, still technically in there. It's on like Indomikong and Colorado Mountain Oysters, I believe, are still technically alive, but very long shots. Okay, so then, that's a Heroes Conference. So we go to the Villains Conference. Enormous game here. First of all, now you see me, now you don't. They're 7-3 with a 4-3 division record, which is not great. Okay, 4-3 division record, that could definitely come back to haunt them. Because California Coyotes are 6-4 with a 6-1 division record. So it doesn't take much for California Coyotes to vault past them there. Vic in a Box 6-4, Squadrels 6-4, Donkey Punchers 6-4. Now the Donkey Punchers have an outside chance because of the fact they're 3-4 in division, whereas Vic in the Box and Squadrels are both 4-3. Squadrels in particular kind of control their own destiny because of the fact that they play Now You See Me, Now You Don't this week, and I believe Vic in the Box next week. No, California Coyotes next week. So they are playing 2 teams ahead of them back-to-back weeks. Obviously, Now You See Me, Now You Don't wins the next 2 weeks. They win the division. They get a first-round bye. Pretty awesome for him. They lose, open up a possibility with a bunch of teams, California, Vic in the Box, Squadrels, and technically Donkey Punchers. So, yeah, anyone who's not one of those 2 teams, and I believe, honestly, the Donkey Punchers, I think, may have been mathematically eliminated, but whatever. We'll find out. Just start your best lineups, guys. All right, the Joker Conference, or the Joker Division, rather. Apache Chiefs felt like he was victimized by a conspiracy last week because people got Jackie Burkeen to set up a lineup. The team is 4-6, not like they're 0-9, as you'll find out later. Someone actually won who was 0-9 who did severe playoff damage to the team. But Apache Chiefs, 7-3 with a 5-2 division record. Beaver Eaters. Beaver Eaters had a huge game last week. They were basically dead in the water, fallen victim to William Shatner face, and then this guy named Aaron Rodgers just totally blew up the world. Just like Kim Kardashian's ass broke the internet, he broke the muscle, basically, with that performance. Didn't break the internet, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, Apache Chiefs, Detroit Fat Boys are mathematically eliminated coming up this week, but they still got to start a lineup, because with the Beaver Eaters winning, it creates a much more interesting scenario. Now, technically speaking, Magic Mike Plate and Team Mike are still in the hunt, but they would need quite a bit of help. A lot of wins. They have to win out, obviously. I think they play each other this week, even. Or maybe it's next week they play each other. I'm looking right now. No, they don't play each other. Team Mike plays the Apache Chiefs next week. That's what it is. Team Mike plays the Apache Chiefs, and he also plays Beaver Eaters this week. So Team Mike, you are up there with like Squadrels in terms of controlling your own destiny because you're playing teams that are ahead of you the next 2 weeks. So, I mean, if I were you, I'd go hard because if you don't go hard, you're probably not going to make the playoffs. All right. So, without question, the most intense division right now is the Hannibal Lecter division, okay? And why do I say that? Because you have the 4, 5, 8, and 16 teams all jammed up at the top, okay? Let's start with who's winning this division. Now, if you notice, the standings got shuffled around a little bit because for some reason the head-to-head tiebreakers was not being factored into the playoff standing order. So, which is why, when you look at the standings, especially in the Hannibal Lecter division, Hannibal Lecter, not Delecter, Unclaimed Baggage, who's ranked number 5, is actually ranked ahead in the standings of the number 4 team, Riverside Rage of Rancors. Ryan Fraser always said these ratings don't mean anything, and in a way, he's right, but it helps gauge what teams are doing well. So, Unclaimed Baggage number 5 ahead of Riverside Rage of Rancors number 4. Coincidentally, these 2 teams play each other this week, alright? So, taken outside of that, Ypsilanti Fighting Gophers also 7-3, and all 3 of these teams are 5-2 in their division, okay? Ypsilanti plays... Yeah, wow, this is insane, man. This is why I love this league, okay? You got Unclaimed Baggage, Riverside, Ypsilanti, Tingling Buttholes, okay? They are a half of a game away from each other, all of them. This week you have Riverside, number 4, playing Unclaimed Baggage, number 5, for the division lead, potentially. And then Ypsilanti Fighting Gophers, number 8, facing Tingling Buttholes, number 16. So all 4 of those teams logged at the top all play each other this week. It's insanity. So, and then for Riverside actually not only plays Unclaimed Baggage this week, they play Ypsilanti next week. So the 2 next weeks, they play both of the teams they're tied with. So, oh my God, that's Bruiser Bedlam. That's what it's going to be. And then moving down finally to the Norman Bates division, ACL Terror, 7-3, 4-3 conference record. Sioux Girls 1 Cup, 6-4, 4-3 conference record. Interestingly enough, Joe Buck Yourself is 5-5 with a 5-2 conference record. Now, I had somewhere, give me a second, I know this is, I have all these tiebreakers here. In the Norman Bates division, ACL Terror obviously leads, Sioux Girls Cup 1 Cup. Joe Buck Yourself, 5-5 with a 5-2, still has to play ACL Terror, so that's big. So that spells potential, goodness for him. Excuse me. They did beat Sioux Girls 1 Cup, so he has a tiebreaker on him. Sioux Girls 1 Cup, now, by the way, actually lost to both ACL Terror and Joe Buck Yourself, so he does not set very well. He needs a lot of help, actually. And also, still barely hanging on in this division, technically speaking, Saucy Dog, TDs and Beer, Texas State University fighting off Armadillos, and Ypsilanti Pipsqueaks coming off their big game last week. I don't know, someone put, looks like Sarah put some type of graphic on this message board that failed to load. I don't know. That sucks. I don't know what she was putting on there. But yeah, if you want a complete breakdown of all the tiebreakers, because things are going to get intense these next couple of weeks. Now, next week I will go with a full-fledged podcast, I promise, with all the potential scenarios. There's still a lot that can happen in 2 weeks, so I didn't want to go totally balls out. But still, you know, here it is. Hopefully that helps bring it down. So, I mean, but huge games. Number 4 versus number 5, number 16 versus number 8, number 20 versus number 14, and number 2 versus number 7. This is probably... I mean, as of right now, I mean, this is our third year doing it. This is probably the biggest single week in MUSL history. So, I mean, even games that aren't ranked teams. Unleashed Craggle and DeWyans, for example. DeWyans is number 1, but Unleashed Craggle's not. And they're, like, fighting for their playoff life. Brandon Roy's Knees versus Brady O. Bush. Another huge game. Both teams, I mean, the loser of that is definitely eliminated from the playoffs. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff. And then also, let's not forget, in terms of teams that I didn't even mention because of their record, the point situation still is there. And I'll break this down much closer or much more in depth next week. But guys, if your team is terrible, or I don't want to say terrible, if your team is out of the playoff running from record, do not forget, in MUSL you get rewarded for points. So if you're like searching for Johnny Fisher, for example, it's like 2-7, but he scored a ton of points. Throw out super lineups if you have to. Get as many points as possible because there are 4 teams, regardless of record, like all the top records get pulled out. Right, to make the playoffs, there are 4 teams, 2 from each conference, that will make the playoffs based strictly on record. So, all right, guys, sorry about the lateness. Sorry about the low-quality front-facing camera here, but hey, I got to go to work in, like, I don't even know. My son's clock says 4:43. It's not that early. Talk to you later. Good luck, everybody.